What's up, everybody? So, about a month ago, I think, I was on TikTok and I saw this video of like, hey, here's some movies I'm recommending from this guy. And one of the movies, he was like, imagine John Wick, but like if it was a teenage Korean girl and she had superpowers. And I was like, say less, I'm in. Now, real quick, all right. That is actually, as I learned, the sequel to the movie that I'm about to talk about. So, if you want the more action-packed version, oh, my chair went down. That is the second movie. But we're talking about the first movie. So, we're talking about The Witch Part 1 Subversion, which is a Korean film, hence why the name is the name. You can actually find this on I think it's on Hulu. So if you have Disney Plus, it's on Hulu. But yeah, so I went into this movie again expecting, John Wick with superpowers. And it turns out that's not this one. So what this movie is a girl is part of this experiment when she's little. A bunch of little kids are all, I guess they got experimented on to get powers. She escapes as a little girl and makes it to this farm. She is raised by this old farming couple and is able to live a decent life until she becomes a teenager. Turns out the family isn't doing too well for a number of reasons, and she has to do something about it. She ends up doing something that kind of gets her noticed, we'll say. And then, of course, the people that made her were like, oh, we found her. So a lot of I want to say pretty much up until like the last, I don't know, let's say 30 minutes of the movie, maybe even more, 45 minutes, probably is more right. Is just her like living her life, and then, kind of things kind of ramping up as people are, trying to find her and like trying to get her back. So it's a pretty chill, like, it's not this huge like action packed thing is what I mean. It's not till you get to the end of the movie that this movie's like, all right, cool, let's ramp things up, everybody. And that's where I think that this movie shines and is also broken. So once you kind of get to the end, like, things are off and it's like, okay, like this is the ending is the whole reason why I would even recommend this movie to everyone. But at the same time, I'm very logical and I'm very like with a critical eye when I'm watching or just like consuming media in general, just because, so many people are a part of this, and I'm just like, how did you mess, this and that up? So what I will say is that there are some things for me that are cool for coolness' sake, but like logically are like, huh? Like, why wouldn't you just do that? It is also like, there are some special effects that are like, these need a little more budget, a little more time in the oven, just a little bit. But aside from that, yeah, this movie I do recommend just to get to the end of it, because again, she is just like, I don't know what's going on. And things just kind of keep escalating. I love her best friend. She is like this like loudmouth, kind of super annoying friend, but she is a ride or die day one. I will stand on that. She ended up being my favorite part of the movie. And yeah, so the total package, I was like, all right, cool. We got to the end. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Immediately started the second movie. So the most minor spoilers for the second movie. Not even really a spoiler, it's like the setup. So like I was saying, the second movie is what the guy on TikTok originally recommended. The second movie is a new character, but kind of adjacent to the first character enough to why we're even following a new character. You kind of know if you'll know. And that I was like, I don't want a new character. You already set up a super interesting first character, and I was trying to see where her story was going. So I was like, I don't really want a new ride. Like, you should have saved this for, part 4 or something like that. And then also, they added a character in that movie that I just found like super annoying. I mean, I got like, I don't know, 45 minutes into that movie, and I was just like, this isn't for me. This isn't what I wanted. Maybe if they make a third one, we'll get back to the main girl who I'm actually here for. But I will say, from what I watched of the second movie, it was definitely more action-packed. So I feel like the guy who recommended this was right. It's definitely more action packed in that way. I think there was like a train scene where she was like kicking ass or something like that. I do recommend the first movie for sure. I do want to talk spoilers for if anyone has ever seen this movie. So if you're not and you're just gonna check this out, then I appreciate the watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you don't watch the rest of this video, and watch the first one and then come back, and then you can talk to me about the first one. All right, so I'm gonna get into spoilers. So like I said, the best friend, ride or die, when she pops off. First off, okay, yeah, she pops off, right? The main girl, I forgot everyone's name, and I'm probably gonna butcher it. When she pops off, right? She's like, I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know. Bow, 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 bow. All right, and then she's just like, right? And the guy's just like breaks his face open. He's like, I knew that you knew it was you, you stupid bitch. Like, I knew it. And then she's like, it is what it is. Wow. And then, tosses him down the steps. And then that other guy, the American one, he was like, oh, either come with me or, me and the other kids are gonna, destroy everyone here. And then, because you're a monster. And then the friend who's just scared out of her mind is just like, he's like, agree, tell her that she's a monster. And then she's like, no, you're not a monster. Even though she's like, you see her, she's like gonna piss her pants. It's like, that's why she's the day one, right? She's always been there. She's always been there. Granted, when she's like eating with her mouth full and she's like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm gonna sleep in your bed and take over the whole bed. It's like, girl, I kept calling her a bitch. I was like, ugh, but you see that she's always there for her. She cares, when main girl is like having one of her seizures and is having that nosebleed in the bathroom, and she's like worried about her and she's going to find her. The fact that she like saved her friend from when those guys were trying to like kidnap her, I was like, she's the best part of this movie. I wanted the both of them to reunite and be friends again. I did say like I was saying, it's like so convoluted. Well, the end part was just like convoluted because we had that whole like backstory with like the doctor and the guy with the sunglasses who kind of seemed like he was the henchman, but then he kind of low-key gets fired, and then he's like, all right, well, I'll do it myself. So then you got his team, and then you got her team, which is the teenagers, but it doesn't really make any sense because it's just like unclear. It's like that part of the movie I felt like I missed like another movie. You know what I mean? Like, or like a TV, like there was like a special 4-episode thing I was supposed to watch before this. So that part didn't really work for me. When you get to the end and everything's popping off, it's like, oh, the only way to kill them is in the head, and they say that in the beginning of the movie. And then those two background dudes who have the superpowers are like running head first without blocking their head, and they just get shot in the head. And it's like, what were you expecting? You're not like, you got one weakness, bro. You should have like made a shield around your head or something. They didn't even try. And then you get the cool girl with the knives, right? And like I was saying, the CG is a little weird, but when she does a little slice and it's very like anime-esque, I was like, I like that. That was cool. But she's fighting the dude with the glasses, and I'm like, is he enhanced? Doesn't really make sense why he's able to hit her around a little bit. He shoots her, but he clearly doesn't shoot her in the head, even though he's like, go for the head. He said that to them, and I was like, so why is she still alive? I guess so we can have another cool moment. Like, it didn't make any sense. But going back to the main girl, right after she pops off, when she pops off again, when they have her and they give her a little chemical, and she's like, I figured it would feel good, but not this good. Then the guy's like, oh shit, we didn't capture her, or we didn't find her, she found us. And she's like, yep, I knew I was dying and I had to find you guys. And so, I played my hand, and I was hoping you guys weren't dumb enough to not find me, and lo and behold, you were. And so it all worked out, my master plan. And then she just starts like murking fools left and right. And my only problem was like, she seemed so OP that I was like, I don't know how you keep making more movies like this where it just seems like she's unstoppable. Like you have to have some sort of flaw in her, or else we're just gonna have solo leveling, where it's like, okay, well, why should I care? You seem like you're gonna be fine no matter what. But because it was like the first one and it was like the other kids, I was like, and they're already saying like when she was little, like, oh, she was the top. I was like, okay, cool, I'll let it slide, and then we can always fix that in the next movie. But we wouldn't fix that in the next movie because guess what? She's not the main character in the next movie. They do reference her, but she's not there. If you do watch the second movie, I don't like the American guy. He's like the worst.
Whoa. Let's calm the fuck down. We're not looking for any trouble. We didn't even know you guys worked here. Can't we all just get along, hey? Look. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다.
But anyways, going back to the first movie. One moment that I loved, other than obviously Homegirl popping off twice, is, well, I didn't love it. It was just sad. Is when they're all having dinner, and then the mom was like, she's like, oh, who's this girl? And why is she at our dinner table? And the best friend's just like, oh, and then you can see she's like, I don't know what to do, and like looks at her friend. And her friend's like, Mom, it's me. Like, it's cool. Like, we're gonna, I'm gonna eat dinner. Don't worry about it. And she's like, who are you? Where's my daughter? And it's just like, oh, no. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
근데 얘네들은 누군데 우리 집에서 이렇게 밥을 먹고 있어요? 아니, 우리 자연이 어디 갔어요?
And I also felt it was heart-wrenching when, she's like, hey, I just wanted to check in. I'm going to go take care of some things and I'll be back. And the dad was like, I didn't even want you. You killed some cows and some dogs. And I felt like you were a demon, but your mom was just like, we have to keep her. We can make her a good person. I was just like, oh, she doesn't need to hear that. But also, like, I felt that must have been like sitting on his spirit, you know what I mean, for him to be like, I gotta say this now because I really don't know if I'm ever gonna see this girl again. But I do love that he's like, you should clean yourself up like a lady. You really shouldn't dress like that, because it's like, that's his daughter, you know what I mean? He cares about her no matter what. At least that's how I interpreted the scene. And I like that this wasn't like this big bombastic ending like it would be in the US. It is just her, like, she leaves, her friend sees her, she like waves her out the window, and she's like, you better come back, you bitch. And she's just like walking down the street, and it's like, cue the credits, bro. That's it. Walk away. Yeah, so I do. Oh, honestly, I recommend this movie. You guys have already watched it if you're watching this part. I do hope that if there is another one, that we do get back to the main girl. Like, if there's number 3, I imagine that they'll team up, and then that will be the third movie. If that's the case, I will finish the second movie. But I came here for the first girl, so I didn't want to watch the second one with the new girl. No offense to her, it's just not what I wanted. And again, that one guy in there is just so annoying. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this for an hour and a half or whatever. I do wish that the younger kid or the other enhanced young adults had put up more of a fight. I didn't need them to like win or anything, but I just feel like she wiped the floor with them so bad. I was just like, damn, they never stood a chance. But I did like the caveat of like, hey girl, you only got so many months of this like little blue liquid. And if you don't find more or make some sort of permanent solution, you are cooked. And I didn't like that because the second movie is a new character, right? You got to the end where she finds the twin sister doctor, and then she's like, "Hey, don't do anything. Me and her are just talking." And then it like shows that she's sitting there, and you see someone else standing next to her who was like clearly ready for some action, and then it stops. And I was like, "Oh, I thought it was gonna be some sort of like her and then whoever that other girl were, maybe they got to go on an adventure together type thing. Again, they just set up a movie and then they just didn't follow it. And I was like, what the hell, Korea? Let's get it together. I'm trying to have a good time. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you think about The Witch Part 1 Subversion, which I feel like gives away the movie, down below. Let me know if I should go back to the second part. Maybe there's something important I'm missing. If there is going to be a third one, let me know. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.